It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem. It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem. It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem. It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Locker Room. Thank God that it's Friday. So much are going as far as football is concerned, as the weekend which is upon us. As far as football action is concerned, you don't get it anywhere better than on Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I am your host, Jerry Apelioi. We've got a thrilling show for you today. And of course, joining me today is Ikechukwu and Maiwa. Hopefully joins us virtually, and we're ready to break down all the action and share the hot takes on what's going down in the football world. So let's get into it. Penalty was trending last night on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I made a tweet where I said Wuru FC. You can find me on Twitter. Jerry Nice Kick is my handle if you don't know. I said Wuru FC, Penalty FC, and they have a captain called Penandes, and everybody knows who that is. They don't need to be told. For who doesn't know, I think Ikechukwu will know better who we're talking about.
Yeah, Jerry. Good evening, Jerry.
Yes, good evening, Ikechukwu.
Good evening to our viewers. I don't know who is Penandes. I know who Bruno.
You know who is Penandes?
I know who Bruno Fernandes is.
Oh.
And
you just hit
thank you for once again congratulating me.
Who congratulated
you? You did behind camera.
I've never congratulated you without Wuru.
And 4-1 Wuru.
Yes.
That's what we call annihilation.
After giving them red card, what were you expecting? A team that's even struggling, you gave them red card. What were you expecting?
We defeated them. Teams have shown that they can actually come from
with 2 penalties, and you gave them a red card, and you say that it's fair and square. Someone was telling me
your Liverpool team. Haven't you guys won a game with 2 penalties before?
And red card.
And red card. You've not.
Come on.
You have now.
When was that? Remind me the day.
It might not be this season, but you have.
When?
Don't worry. What I'm saying is
the highest of fraud when it comes to officiating comes from Man United. Go and check Man United has had a game.
This is not a Premier League game.
Anywhere in the world, Premier League, Europe, anywhere, Man United, they are very, very fond of it. This is the same Man United. A game has ended. The players have gone to the dressing room. They have to be called back. It has never happened before. I've been watching football all the years that have been born. That was the first time I saw the team has gone to the dressing room. They called them back from the dressing room to play a penalty. It only happened in Manchester. Manchester United against Brighton.
Yesterday after your game, you were so cold. Why all of a sudden you seem very refreshed and wait, hold on. You seem very refreshed and rejuvenated. United won a game fair and square, 4-1, and you are here saying all of this.
To the extent.
Okay, wait.
To the extent.
Have teams not won a game from
two penalties?
Two
penalties and
with a one-man down before.
One man down.
Yes.
How often does it happen?
It doesn't matter how often.
How often
does it happen or not?
It doesn't happen.
What led to the red card? Was the red card a fair one?
Was it a fair one?
I'm asking.
It's a 50-50.
What's 50-50?
The thing is that
okay,
the referee had a mission.
Which means if the referee hadn't given it, it's not wrong.
The referee had a mission. To the extent he relied on Dogu to tell him that this was not a penalty. Before he now checked, is it not supposed to be that the referee will be the one telling players what's a penalty or not? Why does it have to be the player who say, Oga, they don't do you? I don't say they overpay you. He was overpaid.
We've seen referees. We've seen players tell referee this is a penalty and the referee overruled.
It's a penalty.
We've seen now.
Forget.
We've seen players give referee hand gesture. We've seen players give referee hand gesture for card, and referee ends up not giving them the card.
In future, we are going to hear that referee will be investigated for match fix. Don't worry. Let's wait. Don't worry.
I wish you were this strong yesterday.
Time will tell.
Okay, you were hoping United would lose. This is United's trophy to lose. This is United's trophy to lose. There's no team who will show you, who will show Liverpool how to beat a friend side and beat them silly. Bring PSG to this Europa League and we'll dispatch them without stress.
Anyway, let's get down to business. Let's talk about the Super Eagles. There seems to be trouble in the paradise of the Super Eagles after the withdrawal of Bayer Leverkusen winger Nathan Tella from the must-win 2026 World Cup qualifiers this month due to injury. The Super Eagles faced yet another major concern after it was gathered that FC Nantes winger Moses Simon has missed training most of this week also on account of injury. According to Nantes coach Antoine Kombare, Simon has not participated in team training sessions throughout this week, and Simon has always been a key player for the Super Eagles over the years, with his consistent ability to unlock stubborn defenses being a major testament to this fact. However, taking a look at Moses Simon, I don't want to believe that his injury is serious, because this is the same guy that he also played last weekend. Well, for Nantes in France, in the French league. So I hope the club side is not playing some games, because I cannot trust talking about the coach of this foreign clubs, most especially when it comes to releasing players for international break, because this is a very crucial part of the season ahead of the season wrapping up for every club side. But that would be unfair to deny the Super Eagles the chance of having the quality of Moses Simon ahead of crucial World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and Zimbabwe.
True, very true. We have to look at it from two angles. The first is the possibility of what you're saying to be true. We've seen it even at the highest level. I remember 2014 World Cup finals, Argentina against Germany. Before that particular game, Angel Di Maria received a letter from Real Madrid that he should not participate because that particular game might actually worsen his injury. And you remember after that World Cup, he ended up leaving Real Madrid because, of course, they are looking at actually selling him off in a very good shape. But that's on another side. I just want to use that to actually prove the fact that clubs can actually be very influential when it comes to making decisions for the national team. Remember, Olajuwon also, the last game that we played, our last qualifiers game, the coach Nuno actually said if it's certain that we've qualified, that we should release Olajuwon because of the weekend games they're about to play. Again, Moses Simon is a very crucial player for Nantes, and the coach might also, it's very possible that they're actually playing a game for him to actually stay fit for them for the season. But you can also not rule out that players can actually be fit this week, and during the week training they can actually just get a knock, and then for precaution, they just want to preserve the guy and keep him. And they also must have looked at all of other conditions. Moses Simon and Ademola Lookman mostly start from the same wing for the Super Eagles. They might be looking at the fact that Super Eagles have an option, and let's just take this out, and it might not really be a problem for the Super Eagles. Again, these are all permutation, but it boils down to one thing, right? It shows how much of an influence our player have, and also how much of a respect this foreign clubs I have for Super Eagles. Because when you get to see stuff like this, start asking yourself questions about what exactly is the priority. Is the player really in to play for the Super Eagles, or is just here to actually help to boost his CV to prove to the world that he's a regular for his national team? All of these conditions are what we really need to pick up. But for me, my major concern is during the course of the game, what happens if one of our key attackers gets a knock and then the person cannot continue? These are the questions we should start asking. And this buttresses why we've been asking questions of certain attackers who actually have the foot to actually play. Because some of these players really don't really have the leg when it comes to pushing a team. Victor Boniface doesn't have the leg. Osado Kamara doesn't have the leg. These guys are, you might argue, yes, they are quality strikers. They can actually score goals, but then how to be a menace for to a team, they don't really have that that threat going forward. So it's going to really be a very big miss. And Nathan Tella, who also missed the Super Eagles party to this doubleheader, is also a very pain in opponent in opposition's final third. So I don't know how the Super Eagles is going to do this. I don't know how Eric Chell is going to squeeze out, or what he's going to actually do with the limited option he's got in the attack. But then he's the coach of the Super Eagles, and let's see who he's going to replace it with before we start talking about it.
All right, let's see who is going to replace it. They've been talked about Chidera Ejuke. That is more or less a like for like in terms of style of play. Do you agree with this position?
100%. Chidera Ejuke is younger than Moses Simon. He offers the same threat, and he's playing at a very top level, a stronger league than where Moses Simon is actually playing. So yes, it's going to be a big feat. It begs the question again: why is he not part of the Super Eagles team going to this doubleheader? I don't know, but I'm still looking at the list and how a lot of players actually find a way into that particular team. If Ejuke finally makes it into that team, if he finds a way to be the replacement of Moses Simon, then I'll give thumbs up to whoever it is that is running the show for Eric Chell, because I don't want to believe Eric Chell is actually running the show at this point. So many things have pointed that a manager that is actually in the know will not pick certain players, except he's not serious, and I don't want to see Eric Chell as an unserious manager.
All right, we don't want to see Eric Chell as an unserious manager. It's a conversational program. We'd like to take you up on what you think about Moses Simon missing out from the World Cup qualifiers. Who do you think would be a perfect replacement for Moses Simon? We're encouraging you to drop your comments on the YouTube platform as well as on Facebook. And you can also call in via the WhatsApp line. We'll be able to take your calls, and make sure you keep it simple and direct to the point. Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and give us your opinion. Okay, still talking about the Super Eagles. Staff have reached out to FC Moses Simon over an ankle injury that we're waiting to hear what's going to come out of that inquiry as far as Moses Simon's availability for the qualifiers is concerned.
True, very true. Like I said, we have to actually keep our fingers crossed. If it happens that Moses will not be part of the party, then we'll actually be looking for who is going to replace him before we start, complaining. But then at this point, I think the most viable option for us is either Sirideza or Chidera Ejuke. And Ejuke is just the best option. But then if we can get Sirideza, he's also got the foot. He's also going to be a menace in the opposition's final third. We can actually do with that as well.
All right, we can actually do without with one as well.
With that as well.
With that as well. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's still take more news. This time around, Victor Osimhen has been the major reason Galatasaray on course to winning a third straight Turkish Super League. And so the Istanbul Giants are keen to sign the striker on a permanent basis when his loan transfer ends in the summer. Various proposals have therefore been presented on how Galatasaray could raise the cash to pay the release clause of 75 million euros for the Super Eagles striker. The latest proposal is coming from Rasim Zamoglu, a member of the Galatasaray board of directors. It would be $70 million, and they will now add $5 million on top of it. They want to do a GoFundMe to keep Osimhen. So much love they have for him. He's been on fire at the club side. I wouldn't blame them. They appreciate what they see. But do you think that Osimhen will be considering staying at the club side after the summer?
It actually depends. It actually depends on what the project holds. You know, it's not just about signing Osimhen. You have to sit with him and have a conversation. If he sees the project, if they tell him, okay, don't worry, aside you, we're going to bring XYZ to the team, of course, you may want to stay. We've seen a lot of players arrive, the likes of Robinho arrive Man City when Man City was absolutely nothing, right? But the project is so attractive. Yes, you know, you don't want to take away the fact that, yes, the money is very attractive as well. But then this project will definitely, you know, keep players. Because when a player sees the project and then they'll tell you, okay, we're bringing in a top manager, we're going to make this a championship side, we're going to make this a side that's going to be competitive in the UEFA Champions League, give it 2-3 seasons, you would like you to be part of the project. It's definitely going to be part of the project. I mean, what's actually the difference between Napoli and Fenerbahce, right? Napoli and Galatasaray in terms of level. Yes, Napoli, you want to argue that yes, they are bigger in terms of the league they're playing in, but in European stage wise, Galatasaray is always very consistent in the UEFA Champions League as well. Right? You also want to say it happens so because Galatasaray are actually one of the strongest in their league, and Napoli is in a very much more competitive league. But then it doesn't change anything. The fact is, players like this always want to play in the UEFA Champions League every season, and Galatasaray offers that. How many clubs in Europe at this point can actually cough out that money to bring in Victor Osimhen? These are the questions he will be asking himself. Chelsea has a project. They have a very thin budget for players. Arsenal, perhaps they might want to actually sign him, or there are other options. So he will look at all of the variances. The truth is, if there's a good project to keep Osimhen, if he sees the project, definitely he's going to stay. Galatasaray is actually a big team. You say it's not, you know, a super team in Europe, but it's actually a big team, and it's not actually beneath Victor Osimhen at this point.
All right, let's talk about the Flamingos, where the head coach Bankole Olowokere said on Friday that Nigerians under-17 girls Flamingos will not leave any room for a possible sucker punch as they take on their South African counterparts in the FIFA under-17 World Cup qualifying match in Ikene, Remo on Saturday. However, Cote d'Ivoire's under-17 girls showed that several things are still possible in football when they hammered their Burundian counterpart 3-0 away after losing the first leg 3-1 in Abidjan in the same qualifying series. So the Falconets will be riding on the fact they won their first leg away. Hopefully they will not get complacent, because that game is going to be coming up at 4 p.m. Nigerian time. As at yesterday, the Botswana girls were already in Lagos and en route down to Remo, where they are currently camping ahead of tomorrow's game, which is going to be coming up live at 4 p.m. at the Remo Stars Stadium. Okay, taking a look at this, we hope the Falconets will put the nail on the coffin in this one at home.
True. I mean, when it comes to female football, Nigeria is against the Flamingos will actually be played against are actually not heavyweights enough. So I don't think it's going to be difficult for us to actually get our win head-to-head against them. It's going to be quite tough here when it comes to female football, and a very strong grassroots system. But then this is exactly one of the things we're talking about with Nigeria. I almost said Super Eagles with Nigeria, and this sort of challenge will always be why we see countries that we're going to be playing. Countries like South Africa have really shown that, you know, he is really committed, happy. But then, you know, there's something about these Flamingos, right? A couple of years ago, I know someone who actually was part of the Flamingos setup. After this stage, unlike the male that we will get to see, because of course female football is not really as popular as the male counterpart. You don't get to see them again. Some of them start looking for how to actually get out of the country. We don't even have a proper a tier 2 female league, right? These are how far have we gone in terms of improvement. Even the main league, right? The main league, how far have we gone in terms of improvement? So But I just hope, you know, for the love of what they really want to do, and which is to play football and actually develop. I wish them success. But then the people handling football here does not even make it.
All right, the girls are already training at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikenne. They won the first leg 3-1 in Pretoria. And we understand that the officials for that game arrived today in Lagos en route down to Ikenne, where the second leg of that game will be played. It's now left to be seen whether Botswana can score 3 unreplied goals. But football is football. Anything is possible, and nothing, they say, is impossible. All right, let's talk about the Europa League action. Fernandes to beat Real Sociedad 4-1 the night came via the penalties lead. However, Fernandes quickly restored parity and coolly scored again from the spot on 50 minutes. The Portuguese international then ensured United will face Lyon in the last 8 by firing home his 15th league goal of the season. Diogo Dalot rounded off the scoring in one of Ruben Amorim's best nights since taking charge of the Red Devils. They are languishing 14th in the Premier League and out of both domestic cup competitions. United's last remaining hope of salvaging a miserable season lies with the Europa League. Why are you laughing? Taking a look at all the parameters, and unfortunately, Ruben Amorim is on the receiving end.
I don't know why you choose to use the word miserable.
I'm not the one, and it's the fact.
There's no fact in it. You
No
can call it a
this,
bad season, but it's not
this
miserable.
Is a miserable season.
No, you are still challenging for the tier 2 championship in Europe. That's not miserable.
Challenging.
Yes,
How?
and you are a very strong contender.
How?
United is most likely going to win this championship.
That fraud of a game you played against.
What fraud?
A struggling wrestler.
What fraud? You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what it feels
now.
like. You don't know what it feels like because you're not in Europe again. So just relax.
I don't understand.
Yes, in Europe. That's what the fact is. Actually starts well and not being you are the worst number one. See, being on top of the log as the table first game make the knockout phase met you, and I'm not saying we've been having a good season. I'm saying don't use the word miserable. Miserable does not. That's
actually the real word for it.
No, it's not. If United had been knocked out
what
of
are
this,
you challenging for? Europa League, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's wait.
If
What
United,
about Premier League? What's your season?
United is going to Champions League next.
Going to Champions League next
Obviously,
season.
United is going to win.
Okay, you start disguising.
Disguising how?
You start running your hater-skater. You now start behaving as if you didn't remember what is. Leave it there. Okay, take a look at United go all the way. He has prophesied the second. Tottenham stands a better chance of winning the Europa League, even more than Manchester United. But the Wuru prophet, let's wait and see how that pans out. Ange Postecoglou has been, he's had a miserable season as well, if you want to look at it.
No,
So he's just surviving.
Ange's case is very clear.
It's not miserable.
It's purely miserable.
But Man United is not. Oh my God. The double standard is real. The double standard is real.
Call it what you like.
It's real.
Call it what you like. Parameter for
Yes.
having a better season.
They still went far in the League Cup. Yes. And they still went far in the FA Cup.
Ange Postecoglou this season, he's always said that the second season will be the season.
Amorim promised you he was going to win the league. Europa League, win Champions League and Premier League.
Ange said he usually wins a trophy in his second season. This is his second season. And
they have a chance like every other team there winning the Europa League.
which chance?
So it's only Man United that has a chance of winning.
United will win this Europa League, and that's what it is.
United cannot win the Europa League. To be told that this is not penalty by Yawuru is number one.
No, see.
The referee did not know what is the difference between what's a penalty and not, and he had to wait on a player to tell him, "Oga, yes, I know they overpaid you. Calm down. Don't overdo don't do past yourself."
No. See,
What?
Jerry.
Wait, why did the referee not check the VAR before awarding the penalty?
We've seen games where referees don't
Please
check
don't
VAR.
see. I don't see. It's not the first time. The thing is that. Do you know why? Do you know why Nigeria is like this? We give excuses for everything. That setting example that makes that thing that looks wrong justifiable.
Jerry, let's start with what
a referee is supposed to check.
Why do we have VR? VR to check if the referee is not convinced.
Okay.
That's what VR is for. It's not like VR is there.
The referee was convinced. Because it's leader effect. Yeah, being United was on the receiving end. I know how your analysis on how the referee was unfair. So this don't be biased. No.
Ururu 4-1 is not Ururu. Stop saying Ururu. If you say Ururu,
let's talk about the Conference League. Is this Chelsea's trophy to lose for the Conference League? It's not over until the team in the Conference League. The other teams who can actually create an upset, and it's now left for Chelsea to prove that they are better than the others in their home to win. Talking about the Conference League, because it looks like Europa season with the way they are playing already in the Premier League.
This Chelsea side are actually a team on a project. When Maresca got in, a lot of persons didn't even expect him to actually drive Chelsea as far as he. So he really showed that he's really worked on the team. You know, they started having drop of form, dip in form, and all of that. But this Chelsea side is actually the strongest side in that particular category. But of course, in a championship, in a trophy to actually boost their confidence, because there's something trophy. It gives you this sense of ownership. It gives you this sense of you actually win before going to the pitch. That has not won a championship before. It's quite difficult for them to actually win it. But then when they're able to actually conquer that mental, these players aside before, so it's going to actually pull something towards them. It's going to actually Cole Palmer was part of that Manchester City, but it wasn't really an integral part of the team. So Chelsea actually need to do this, and yes, I want to believe Chelsea. This is Chelsea's trophy to lose, actually.
Let's see here, Chelsea. It looks like it's also going to be another one for Rapid, and Jurgen has been one of the revelation in the Conference League, who are also a very tough side. So it is the battle for the Conference League, and let's see how that one is concerned. And let's go over to England this time around. Newcastle United have a chance to end a run of 56 years without winning a title in Sunday's Carabao Cup final. The Reds are the defending champions, having beaten Chelsea in extra time. Was their final success under Jurgen Klopp before he stepped down as manager at the end of the season. It is 10 years since anybody other than Manchester City, Manchester United or Liverpool final on the trophy was the 1969 Interseason Trophy. Okay, the Reds were taking outside more motivation to bounce back at Wembley as they look to add the Carabao Cup to their seemingly imminent Premier League crown. Both Liverpool and Newcastle have suffered key absentees before the Carabao Cup. We hear that Trent Alexander-Arnold has been ruled out of this one.
That particular game against the Le Bleu, Paris Saint-Germain, Trent has been confirmed that he's not going to play. Newcastle, yes, they also have their own injury concerns. It's going to be an interesting game. Liverpool will always be the favourites. The most useless way to be at the top is a very strong side. They've proven under Eddie Howe to be a very difficult side to break down. If they can actually be compact against Liverpool in this particular game going to the weekend, to the owners that he's actually a man that is fit for this project and he can actually lead the team forward. If he can do this against Liverpool, then of course they might start to really trust him. This is their first major final in a couple of years. And then, trust me, if they get to win this one, which I hope they do, it's going to be a very, very big one.
Yes. Okay, we are taking comments now before we go to the next story. Olugbenga Bamidele on YouTube says, how are we local club side to cross line, to cross the L and dots, you cross the T's and dots the I's before playing to make sure that the team is prepared for that one. Okay, and as the comments come in, we'll take them as much as possible. That he has been called up to the France squad for the first time since last September to face Croatia in the Nations League for the finals. Coach Didier Deschamps said there's Nations League fixtures in October and November after signing with Real Madrid in July. And of course, France will play the first leg in Split next Thursday with a return at the Stade de France on the match, getting his footing at Louis for the Les Blues.
Yes, I remember when the omission first came, in October. A lot of conversations. People started, pinpointing the fact that he had the coach, as he should be, against a player, and that there are rumors that Mbappe is a disruptor in the dressing room. He's like a man struggling at the point for Real Madrid. He really needs to get his foot in, and now he's been, Real Madrid's most important player going forward in terms of delivering the goals. So yes, it's time for him to be struggling to get his foot in Bayern Leverkusen, and then just wake up from bed and see a text message be part of the Super Eagles setup. It's not a country where why didn't they just invite Iheanacho so that we'll know that it's still very much the old guys that we know. This is a team, this is a country that is actually very serious. Do they have someone that can actually step up for Mbappe in France team? Yes, they do. Do we have players that can actually step up for these guys if they are not in a good shape? The country will definitely. So the country will be seen as a bigger stage to your club level. That's how it should be. And kudos to France and Mbappe. I just hope he goes back to another team and deliver and prove why he's the golden.
Give Croatia over both legs, but Croatia definitely are no pushovers.
They're not pushover at all. They're not pushover. The Croatian team, one thing that find their old players to actually Italy and Germany, perfect blends of experience. They are really going to be very difficult for France. Of course, France got quality. They've got players with the legs, young lads that can actually run you down. Yes, it is. But you cannot take these guys out. They got to the last World Cup semi-finals, so they are actually still very. I don't know, but I still do not want to actually believe that it's going to be easy for France, even though I know that it is going to be a France game to lose. But then they have to actually really respect these guys, truly.
They really have to respect these guys, truly. Okay, and Arsenal and Chelsea is a big one on Sunday, and Arsenal at home at the Emirates Stadium should be able.
But the game ends in Arsenal's favor. Arsenal wins that game. I want to see.
Continue momentum of winning the league. I think the Arsenal fans don't like the way you're laughing. I don't like it. You cannot
winning the league. Arsenal is definitely going to be contested, but then we can now. You are being sarcastic with the way it is. So
no. They have
that game against Chelsea.
Okay.
Most likely Arsenal will win that game against Chelsea. I don't have any doubt. The best result Chelsea is going to come out with is a draw in that particular game.
They are mostly likely to win that.
I'm going to lose.
But for Chelsea this season, I think they also need that game. Make the top four.
There's still very much to play for in the top four race. The difference between Chelsea and Nottingham Forest, I think about 5 points or thereabout. But that Nottingham Forest, this is a team that is still very much not faced pressure before. Yes, let's give it 5 games from now, and then we can start saying, okay, they indeed made the top four. To actually call it,
the Nottingham Forest about take on Ipswich.
It doesn't change anything.
And every guarantee looks interesting on paper that they should defeat Ipswich.
Nobody is saying Arsenal is not Chelsea.
I'm just saying it.
Arsenal, no.
Football, anything can happen. Okay. The can so Arsenal can also still to Chelsea.
Okay.
And if that happens, the second position will be Forest could leapfrog them. So it's not left for Arsenal to do this. It's all left to them if they are so willing, and wish them all the best as far as that one is concerned. We look forward to coming back here on Monday. Those are the fixtures to look forward to this weekend. Ikechukwu, it's been awesome having you on this Friday edition of Locker Room.
Well, thank you for having me, Jerry. We look forward to
the guys behind the scene, making the show to your own delight, talking about the likes of Silva, not leaving out Manfred, as well as my name is Jerry Apelhai, saying have a great weekend.